morning, morning. There's dust on my glasses. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, guys. Oh, I'm getting flickering. Well, see what happens. Good morning. Happy Sunday. What's going on? What's going on in the world, people? Sundays are a funny day for me. And there's a few reasons why it's a funny day. I sort of go into this part of my week with like, you know, I jot down ideas all week and I go through them in my head and possibly what I want to talk about, and then it reaches Sunday morning and I'm just like, it's blank. It's completely blank, which is totally fine. But it is, yeah, it can be a bit annoying, but it's fine. It's totally fine. So I'm back on my big computer today, so I'm hoping everything works and doesn't crash like it has been in the past. So fingers crossed. So some of the notes, some of the things that we've gone through this last week have been really, really intense. We had a death in the family, and we're all pretty heartbroken about it. But, you know, I know that, you know, when people reach the end of their lives in this sort of context where, you know, you sort of watch them slowly leave their body, you know, that at the end that they're in a good place, and I know that for sure, that, you know, my lovely father-in-law is in a very good place right now. So it's been sad, but it's been comforting to know that he's okay. So it's been a week. It's been an intense week. So with that in mind, and with no notes in front of me, this is going to be really interesting, I reckon. If anyone wants to pop on and ask any questions, then definitely please do put it in the comments and I will get there. And we're going to start off with a card, and then we'll do some open channeling. If anyone wants to jump in and comment, then please, by all means, do so. If you are watching this a little later on, it is Sunday, July 19th here in New Zealand already, because, you know, it's just the way it rolls. My living room is looking very purple on the screen. It's not purple, and the color is all weird. It's all good. It's all good. So we're going to do a couple cards first. I've got my old school. I love these. I love this deck. I love this deck. This is my go-to deck with a lot of my people and a lot of my clients. So, you know, if I want something very practical that just, you know, triggers all of the words to come, then this is the deck that I use. There are ones that I use for myself personally that are a little more introspective, but this is the deck that I highly recommend. And it is the Radiant Rider Waite deck. So it is the basic deck. And also, before I start, so my website, practicalmagicalhome.com, I will be uploading some new things and creating some lovely little gift packs for people that have been requested. So we'll be doing that in the next week, I hope, if I can find the time. There's a lot to cover in that sort of aspect of my work. Now, let's do a card. I'm going to do one of these. People cringe when I shuffle like this, but I'll show you. My mom taught me that. So, oh, what came out? Well, hello, hello. So two cards just popped out after that shuffle because it was just like, get me the fuck out. So the Star and the Four of Cups. I actually wonder if it's here. I pulled this. Okay, hold on. There is a reason why I'm sure that this came up last night in when I was looking for something to do to sort of like just find like a meditative project. And I do this quite often. I do puzzles and I do coloring and I draw, and I ended up just drawing. But this was one that I had pulled out for myself to color, and I didn't get around to it. And now the card comes out. So obviously she wants to be seen, doesn't she? So the Star is one of those cards for me that I haven't really connected with in a way. I haven't really brought myself to the level of consciousness that I need to be able to understand certain cards. And this is one of those cards. It's a very beautiful and peaceful card. You know, it's when I see it, it's about ways that we are giving back to the world in a way that really amplifies our own beauty, our own personal goals, and our own personal aspirations, and the things that we are gifted with. When this card comes up, it is usually, you know, you are sort of that shining star of what you wish to embody. For me personally, I see it as, I mean, it's a very watery card. You can see, you know, she's pouring the water out of this vessel and it's going back in, and she's pouring the water out of this vessel and it's going, you know, there's this constant flow, but, and she's so comfortable with it. You know, it's second nature. This is where our emotions and our intuition and our physical selves sort of just continue to cycle through. So we're looking at ways that we can cycle through parts of our lives and come to a place where we can feel like we've done everything that we can to be present and to be aware of what's going on. The Four of Cups actually crossed my mind this morning when I woke up, so I'm not surprised to see him either. So again, cups, very watery, very emotional. Right now in my own personal life, I could see this card being very, very useful. Me and a few other people were sort of at that point where we're waiting, you know, we're looking for things to happen. Okay, these are the options that I have. You know, I can do this, I can do this. I don't know which one to do because none of them really have that spark, right? You have two options as far as actually in the cups. In this, you've got three options to choose from that are in front of you. But there is always another option, and it is just outside of that peripheral vision. It is just here, and you're aware of it, and you know that something is drawing you. You know that something is drawing you, and you are stuck on the options that you have. You are stuck on the options that you were given. You have other options. There are other options that are there. They're sort of just waiting in the background. And they're waiting for you to sort of not choose any of the cups in front of you, not choose the old emotions, the old regrets, the old affairs, the old love affairs. We don't need any of that. What we're looking for are the things that we are unaware of, but we know that they exist. these two cards together, because they popped out together, so we're going to read them together. I feel like she's the one giving him that cup. That piece that we're missing is this element, is this world that we can create peace with, and that we can shine, where we are focused on all of these things in front of us without actually understanding that this piece is the biggest piece of all, and that is us. If we can get to the point where we are in alignment with this star card, with the star, with that shining little beacon that transcends time and space and moves at the speed of light, these earth plane worries and situations, they keep us grounded, they keep us focused, but it's that one ethereal part that we are missing, and it is just outside of our peripheral vision. It is just outside of what we want to see. We're not quite there yet. We're not quite ready to become this other card, but we're close. Do you feel that you're close? I feel that way sometimes, where I'm like, oh, it's there, but I can't put my finger on it. And it's something so big and so beautiful that we don't think that we're worthy of feeling such splendor and beauty with every sort of rising moment, with every sort of rising tide and flux in the situations that we're in. We can feel, those are two very watery cards, we can feel our emotions sort of building up and flowing back into the ocean. Last night I had a moment. I was sitting outside and it was raining last night here in Wellington, and it was beautiful. And you know, I love going for walks at night, and did a little wander of the neighborhood and just let the rain just sort of come down. And I thought about how we are made of so much water, that we are these physical entities, but at the same time, what we are mostly made of is this liquid, of this flow, of this energy that just continues to sort of shift and glide. And I realized that last night when I was watching, I was just sort of watching the rain before I went out for a walk, thinking that, if we're part of, if there were that much water, why aren't we outside in the rain? Why aren't we just letting it come down and bless us? Why aren't we doing more of that? So when I went for my little neighborhood wander last night, it was just like, this is great. Just to be able to tap into something so pure coming from the sky, and I just get these messages last night, and I'm going to write them, I'm going to type them all out, because I was just writing last night while I was watching the rain. And it was, where is the beauty? Where is this spark of life? And, and all I kept getting was look up. And I look up, and there were trees, and there was the rain. And it was just this beautiful sensation of just being cleansed and just calm. And this is really beautiful sense of being. So the Four of Cups and the Star are perfect for, sort of connecting all of that into one little package. Is that we are, we are made of water, and we do flow. And there are times that we are very hesitant to jump into that flow. When we jump into the flow, and when we let go of the things that either aren't working for us, that we are forcing into, forcing into these three cups in front of us. These are our situations. This is my love life. This is my family life. This is my work life. What else can we focus our energy on? What else can we focus our attention on? And when we let go of those other three cups, it's that one cup that comes out of the sky and just is right there with us all the time. It's hard to sort of understand that, but our emotions are so all over the place, eh? When we are able to not control like we can control our emotions. We can control that watery side of us. But at the same time, we sort of need to let them spread. When we walk from the ocean and we follow ourselves, we follow the river up to the stream, up to the brook, up to the source of water, where this water comes from. This was some of my writing last night was, we follow this and we follow it and we follow it and we follow it until we find the source. And that was the look up with our source, and it was raining and it was just like, oh. But then you start to think about how it's all circular. It's all a cycle. You reach the ocean and it evaporates and it goes into the clouds and it comes back down. So it's just this complete emotional cleanse that's happening all the time. So if we're holding on to these three, into these cups, holding on to these emotions, and we're so focused on which option is going to give me the best outcome, that's where we sort of hit that wall. Those cups only can fill a certain amount. They can only cover, certain things. They can only hold certain things. The one cup that is given from some place else within, ourselves, those are the ones that can hold everything. And it's about using that as your biggest tool. There are some words that just need to come through at the moment, and I'm just going to talk them through. Forgive me, for I cannot see what I have done. Forgive me, for you see differently than I. You've given me a choice, and you've given me these options to hold on to. And I hold on to them with all of my might, with my arms, my voice, my sanctuary. I hold them. There is a niggle in the back of my throat that feels the words coming, but I cannot voice them in ways that people can understand. My heart feels like it's in my throat as I focus on the energy of nervousness. My nervous system can sense your well-being. The sensitivities that we all have within ourselves as human beings are tapped into each other, are tapped into a collective nervous system. The energies that can radiate from us are felt by the person sitting next to us. That person can see and feel and hear and taste everything that we've decided in our lives. Without knowing those choices of those decisions, they only see the chaos on the top, but they also can see the soul for exactly what it is. It is that spark of life, and all of these decisions, all of these third dimensional choices that we've made are just on the exterior. We are shallow as human beings. We are shallow, and we come from a place of need. But it's not need, it's actually want disguised as a need. The only things that we need to survive are our basic human necessities. Our survival does rely on the physical aspects of ourselves, but it also is a spiritual and mental and powerful and loving presence within each of us that we can feel. Our presence is connected with the presence of the person next to us, and connected to the person next to them, and connected onward and onward and onward. Our presence takes on a different aspect when we are within someone else's energy. When we are alone in solitude, our energy works for itself. And this is really frightening for a lot of us. This is the frightening time that we sit in discomfort, and we sit in a place that is harmful, or we feel it's harmful for our bodies, for our spirits, for our souls, for our minds. We overthink the planetary concepts. We overthink our relationships. We overthink our boundaries, and then just get rid of them completely. We cannot continue to do this. Many people want to live as one, which I think is a beautiful concept. Many people want to live in a world that is filled with love and light and purity and feeling of so much more that we're worthy of. But within that space, within that thought process of being of love and of light, there is a lot of fear. There is a lot of fear in that we will not balance ourselves to be able to understand ourselves and to be able to feel each other. When people cling on to love and light, they are missing the other half of the picture. Just as with pain and remorse, jealousy, we have the other side of the spectrum. We have the light and the happiness and the joy, all within that. Our spiritual selves, our energetic selves, our energetic cells want to be heard. The exterior of what we show are these emotions, are these tendencies to work within the system of what we know, when deep down it's this tiny little spark that wants to be seen, wants to be heard, wants to be validated. Your soul, your spark, your life, your energy, whatever title, label you want to give it, your consciousness, your awareness, it just wants to be validated. And if it isn't validated, it takes on pain and it takes on pressure. And I can just feel that pressure sort of, you know, making it into a diamond. It's like coal that has that pressure. And all of the minerals and all of the cells and all of the bits are just crushed into something else. I just had a quick little visual in my head of the never-ending story when the princess gives him that little grain, those little grains of sand. You know, this is the last of it. You know, this is it. This is what's left of my world, is this tiny little grain of sand. That's what I feel like sometimes our souls are crushed into just a tiny little speck, and it feels like nothing. I don't want you to get that far where your soul feels like nothing. Even if it is just a tiny grain of sand at this point, it can be so much beauty in that one little tiny grain of sand. It can have so much life and spark and energy in one tiny grain of sand. Because when we look up through the trees, through the rain, through the clouds, and we see a star, it is a tiny grain of sand that we see. It's our perspective of it. It's hard to fathom that a star could be another planet or another sun, a million gazillion miles away and immensely huge. But all we see is that tiny grain of sand. So if our souls are crushed down into this tiny grain of sand, what does it look like from another perspective? I like just rambling sometimes. The words just come out, and like last week, I didn't even look at what I said last week. I didn't need to. So hopefully wherever and whenever you find this, these are the words that you need to hear. You are the star, and you just need to open your mind to the other things and the other elements and the other senses that you can feel to be able to tap into where you need to be able to tap into. The things that you're searching for may not be in front of you, but they may just be on your peripherals, just out of sight. But you can sense that they're there, so just don't give up on that. Right. I think it's a quick one today. So hopefully you found this when you needed to find it. And if you want to comment on anything that resonated with you, please do so. It does help me, like when people actually do comment and say, oh, this is good. It helps me to make that connection with people. It helps me to understand how things are taken by other people's perspectives. And it's quite lovely. So I hope everyone is well, and I hope everyone enjoys their week. I hope everyone has a peaceful and loving time this week. I hope that the world isn't treating you too harshly. And if it is, acknowledge it. Sit with it. Be uncomfortable with it. And know that, you know, every second is transforming you into something else. So there's always change happening in the world. Anyway, be well, be happy, be brave, all those things. And if I can find where to stop my video, that'd be great. Anyway, have a good week. Um, yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Go enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.